Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson running for president in 2020, okay? So the reason I'm talking about this today is I'm convinced that political candidates for president are dead in the water going forward for at least the next 20 years. That comes from Trump. Trump has changed the game permanently, and basically I don't think at mass, in the numbers you need to win a presidential election, no one cares about presidential candidates anymore. Perfect example. Trump absolutely destroyed Chris Christie, Mark Rubio, and Ted Cruz. Okay. Now, I want to be really clear. I don't think this is the way it should be. I'm saying this is the way it will be. I think there's a lot of value in having a president who has a political background and is a professional politician. Now, it doesn't mean much to me saying that because I have a degree in political science. I have a bachelor's degree in political science. I have a master's degree in technology management, okay? So me saying, oh, it's great to have a professional politician, it doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter now because I want to be clear. I'm not saying we should never have a political president again. I'm saying we will never have a presidential candidate who wins the ticket, who is coming from a political background. And the reason why is, I think right now what's happened is the media has massively failed and politicians overall have massively failed. They've massively failed to prove to the common person that they have their goodwill at heart, right? So being a politician in today's society is saying, I am a friendly cobra, right? When you say that to people, they're like, "Oh, you're a cobra?" And they're like, well, "Didn't you hear the friendly part? I'm a friendly cobra." And people are like, "Oh, you're a cobra. You have fangs and you're poisonous and you're going to bite, right? Because you're a cobra, right?" And I think the word politician is synonymous with cobra now. And politicians still think that people are like, "Oh, politician is a good thing." Nobody, virtually no one really trusts any politicians anymore. And okay, I'm a fan of Mark Rubio, I'm a fan of Ted Cruz, and I'm a fan of Chris Christie. I think they're all skilled politicians, and I think they will all have done a fine job as president of the United States of America. My pick out of those would have been Ted Cruz. I think he would have been the best president. In fact, that's who I voted for in the primaries. I voted for Ted Cruz in the primaries, right? So when I say that there are going to be no more political candidates going forward for at minimum the next 20 years, perhaps forever in America, there will be no ability for politicians to be elected to the presidential seat. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. I'm saying that's the way it will be. All right. So with that said, who are the candidates for 2020? Right now, the candidates for 2020 are all unannounced, all undecided. But this is the pool, right? These are the people that are being talked about and who are talking. These are the people who have people sitting down with them right now and saying, hey, I think you should run for president, and who it's at least a thought in their mind. And that list is Oprah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's some other people in there. Oprah. I think I already mentioned Oprah Winfrey. And there's a few. Oh, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Right? There's some talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming out of the pack to be a presidential candidate. Right? Now, the other thing is, it doesn't worry me too much, a celebrity president, and I've explained that reason why. I think there's good reasons why, we really shouldn't worry. But okay, let's talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a mega threat. And what I mean by that is he is a threat in that he can beat almost any other competitor. He is a threat. I'm not saying he's a threat to the nation. I'm very interested in his candidacy. I'm not 100% sold on whether I would vote for him or not, but from a pure potential perspective on what he could do, I think that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has the distinct possibility of winning for the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, okay? Now, what's really unique about him is he's incredibly charismatic. The other thing is he has youth. This is incredibly important, right? The physical toll of an American presidential run is massive. People don't understand how much strain and stress it puts on people. And so you need youth and vitality. And come on, clearly, relatively speaking, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has youth and vitality. Now, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's pretty old. I think he's as old as I am, right? But the reality is, in presidential candidate world, he's young, okay? So that's what I mean by he's young, right? And he's certainly going to be vital, you know, like he's going to have youth and vitality. That's my point, right? And that's like, you can't underestimate that, right? You could have him running onto the stage everywhere he goes, you know? And he can do that because, like, you can't have Trump running onto a stage somewhere. Like, you know, he's like almost 70 years old, and that's dangerous, right? But Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like, this guy came up through, you know, world wrestling, you know? Like, so it's not going to be a big deal, right? He clearly is amazing on camera, and that's what it takes to win an election. So he is a mega threat. I think he is the most dangerous candidate as far as his threat to his opponents to win an American presidential election. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is by far the lead candidate. And I think he would be very, very difficult to beat, right? Oh, by the way, my pick for president, for celebrity president of 2020 is Dave Chappelle. I think he's the best out there. I think he would do a fantastic job. And I think he would really, he should be president, right? And now I do think Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle could only run on the Democrat side. He could not run as a Republican, and that's just based on his stance on basically on legal marijuana. That's I guarantee that right there. So that's my take on. So I really feel that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a major threat for 2020, and he's going to be the one to beat. I absolutely think he is going to be one to beat. Leonardo, yeah. So he's and oh, by the way, who could he beat? Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So one, I think the Democrats would run Oprah before they would run Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think that would be a mistake on their part, and the reason why is I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson could win on the Democrat ticket or on the Republican ticket. Oprah can absolutely not be picked up by the Republican Party as a candidate, and I don't think she had any desire to be picked up by the Republican Party as a presidential candidate, and so that's important to understand. So you have all that kind of in the mix, right? And overall, I really feel like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's a major threat. Like, he really could do a good job of actually winning the presidential election. I think he would stomp the living crap out of Leonardo DiCaprio, who again could only run. And I think DiCaprio could only run on the Democrat side. I think Dave Chappelle running for the Democrats would beat Dwayne The Rock Johnson if Dwayne The Rock Johnson ran from the Democrat side. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, one thing that the Republicans have a problem is, oh, by the way, the reason why I'm talking about this is I am predicting now that President Trump will not run for a second term, right? And the reason why is I don't think he likes it. I don't think he enjoys being president. He's a billionaire. He's had a lot of money and has been able to do what he wanted all of his life. And now he's in a situation where he's really struggling. I think struggling not with, like, I think the country's fine. It's doing good. Right, but I think Trump is really struggling and not really struggling with his lack of freedom and his lack of liberty personally, and I think he's like, this is really a problem in my life, and so I think he will choose to not run for a second term. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson, in my opinion, should run on the Republican ticket, and I think he would win. That's my take. Take care.